Good evening. Yes, I'm speaking English again. And no, this is not another drama video, as maybe some of you expected. I will keep on doing these videos in English because there's a story behind that. And today I feel like telling you that story. I just came from a very close friend, two actually, and we had a very good time and we had a very good conversation. And it's always very nice when you exchange your experiences. And there was a time in that conversation when we got to God and to being a Christian and to faith, having faith, and and then I suddenly realized that a few months ago, I went to church last year. I'm going to Logos, where Apostle Stephen Rema is the leader of the church. The last few months I've been a little absent, but I'm planning on making that good. But I have to tell you this story, and I hope that you will have it in your heart to share this video, this positive video, as well as you share the negative one and the dramatic one, because in fact this message is much clearer and much more positive for a lot of us. Well, since I'm going to church last year, I'm just gonna put this here for a moment. I have the habit of praying in the car when I go to work, and I always do that loudly, like I'm speaking to someone. And one day, it was a few months ago, I was always wondering, because as a young Christian, you don't know everything, you have to learn a lot. And I was always asking myself, but how do you know when God speaks to you? How do you know when He tells you something? And He can do that through His Word, the Bible, but sometimes He's doing it in His own way. And so I was driving to work, and then something just popped up in my head, and it clearly said, you should start flogging. And I was like, what? You should know that I'm one of the most stubborn children of God. And He knows that. I'm one of His most stubborn children. I don't just go with the flow. I want to know why, and I want to know how, and I want to know why, and I always have a lot of questions. So when I heard that in my head, you should start flogging, I was like, what? I don't know if it's you talking to me, God, but you gave me the gift of writing. I'm a writer. I'm a poet. I'm not a flogger. Yeah, of course, I'm working at a TV station and I'm doing my job, but I love writing. That's my thing. That's what I think. So, in fact, I was having a discussion, and it just went on, because then that voice in my head clearly said, I still think you should start flogging, and you should do it in English. And I said, English? I'm living in Suriname, and everybody speaks Dutch and Sranantongo. So why should I flog in English? What's the use of that? I told you I'm stubborn, very stubborn. I know that of myself. And so, because I was kind of having any doubts if it was really God speaking to me at that moment, I said, you know what? I don't know who you are. If it's you, God, talking to me, give me a sign. Give me a sign. And I want that sign today. I don't want it tomorrow. I want it today. So I went to work. And this, when I came At work, I told my colleagues about what happened when I was on my way. And it was like, I think 2 hours later, when an old lady walked in and she said, I'm looking for Gil Ake. And I said, sadly enough, that's me. Yeah, I know, I'm weird. I'm always saying weird things. And I told her why. She said, well, I have a letter here for you. And I said, from who? And she said, I don't know, I can't tell you that, but it's your letter. So I took that letter and I read it, and in the letter was written that the person who wrote it read my book, and he said, if you were living in another country and not in Suriname, I think you would get much more further than where you are now. But I hope you're thinking about filming or making little movies to share your experiences with people and inspire them and teach them. And I was stunned and I was silent, and when I showed my colleagues, because I already told them before what happened, we were all silent. But as stubborn as I was, I never did anything with it, because I thought, me flogging, it's not my thing. I do know how to speak English though. I told you my grandmother was a Guyanese. And then last week, I kind of came in a situation where I was very emotional, and I wanted to clear my heart, so I made a video where I told everything that was bothering me. And when I made a video, I just posted it and I never looked at it again. And when I woke up the next morning, I saw that it had more than 60,000 views and more than 1,000 shares. And I was like, what? And then later, I spoke to my apostle, Stephen Rema. And I told him the whole story, and he said, and I realized that sometimes when God wants us to do something and we are stubborn and we don't want to listen, He will put you in a situation, He will place you there to do what He wants you to do. And I don't even know why he chose me to do this or to tell you this. I don't even know for who it is. Maybe it is for just one person who's listening. Could be. Or maybe for more. But it was clearly that this is what I had to do. And after I had a very good conversation today with very good friends, and I am very thankful for that. We had a very good conversation about God, about life, about experiences. And I learned a lot, and I think they learned a lot. And I just had to share this with you tonight. All I can say for now is, may God bless you abundantly like He blessed me. And I know whatever is happening, even if sometimes I'm still emotional, because maybe I'm not totally healed yet, everything will be alright, because He got me, just like He got you. And I hope you realize that sometimes God just lets things happen in our lives to open our eyes and our ears and to show us what it is that He's expecting from us. I wish you all a blessed night. Love you all.